Hi there, my name is Keith Knox, the developer of the TTFit app. The TTFit app is developed for players, for coaches, for clubs, and for associations. In this video, I wanted to very quickly take you through some of the features and show you how this app can benefit you if you fall into one of those categories. The main thing to express here is that TTFit could be used as an individual to improve your game, to be more professional about your game, or it could be used as an individual to collaborate with their coaches, be it their club coach, national coach, regional coach, psychologist, physiotherapist. Everyone can be linked into that player's profile. The main driving force behind the development of the app was that it's very common to have lots of WhatsApp groups if you're a club coach, to have Excel sheets for development plans, to have Word documents for records of achievement. And we wanted to create something that if you're a coach, to bring it all together, particularly if you manage 5, 10, 15, 20 players to a high level. It's very important to have everything at hand and to keep it all transparent between the relevant coaches that are involved with that player's development. So I'm logged in here at the moment as a player, and I just wanted to very quickly show you some of the features. So you can see we've got table tennis, we've got health and fitness, and then we have general, and then at the bottom, these are the teams that player can be associated with. So any player could be linked to their own personal club, they could be linked to a regional training squad, and they could be linked to a national squad. Each of those teams can be managed by different people. However, the player can be common throughout each of those teams. So what I'll do is I'll take you through some of these features. So development plan, this is really obviously their plan that they set out. And this is where they identify some of the areas. So all of the features that I show you, you will be able to select the privacy, whether you share it with your team, you can untick it, or you can obviously tick it, and then that will show this development plan to that team, and then they can also edit and update. So this is just an example template. So if you log into the TTFit app and you sign up, you'll be able to get this template. So this is just a template that we have worked upon, where we're identifying their short-term evaluation of each of their shots, their long-term vision as to what they want to achieve, footwork and balance, what they need to work on, strategy and mentality, their physical development, emotional and psychological development, and then the three main areas that they need to work on. So this is quite a comprehensive plan. We haven't obviously filled it out to its full extent, but what we wanted to note here is that you can very, very easily add more fields if you feel that you don't have enough. So you can add multiple fields, and you can delete any of the fields, or you can very easily save or rearrange the order. At the bottom, this is quite useful, where you can actually link in training plans. So if I want to link in a training plan, this essentially enables the coach to set out a development plan. But within the development plan, you could actually link in physical training plans for the next month. You know, they need to get better lower body strength, they need to be more explosive. Or you could be linking in some of our drills from our table tennis section, where they need to work on their flick. This becomes particularly useful if you don't see that player very often, or maybe they're training 2, 3, 4 hours away and you only see them once a month. You can set that training plan so when they go away, there's certain areas that you can set them up to work on and to develop when they're not in your presence. So you can have multiple development plans, or you can just keep updating the development plan. But this is completely flexible. You can add and update to whatever way you feel you need. Training journals. Now, this is really just a self-reflection for the players. So, for example, if I click in here to one of these journals, you can see the areas that they worked on. So they worked on table tennis. This is obviously a very short session and only example data. But the idea behind this is that they can give certain ratings. I think the next one is maybe a little bit more information. So you can see there they spent 90 minutes in table tennis, 15 minutes doing some strength, and then you can guess where we're going with this. We're obviously trying to accumulate data on that player to make sure that no area is being missed in their game. The coach then can comment on that session, you know, good work, keep working on X, Y, Z, and then the player can obviously comment back as well. So to add a training journal, you can see this is kind of the dynamic approach. So you can put in the location, you can put in the coach's name. Let's just say Travis, and we click on tick. And then we can fill out some metrics, so you can see enjoyment, work ethic, difficulty, and then how did you sleep last night. This can just essentially show some trends. Maybe they're getting nervous before tournaments, and then you can start to see that. So this is now to select areas that you're happy with. They can put in a comment or they can skip it. And then I will select some areas that I'm not happy with. Let's just say my smash and my topspin. And then I'm gonna say that I worked on my counter topspin, I worked on my flick, I worked on my half long topspin, and then we'll just leave it at that. So the idea behind this is that we want to keep track of what this player is actually working on. Let's just say it was only a table tennis session, and then I want to share it with that team. So this is where you essentially select the teams you want to share it with. And then if you really want, you can upload a training video. Again, if you're training from home or a particular area that you want to get feedback from your coach, you can upload a video. But what I want to show you then is if I click into this statistics here, you can start to see that these, the metrics is now starting to update. The date range then can be changed, and all of these data will automatically and dynamically update as well. So you can see how much they're enjoying their training, how well they're sleeping before training, and then you can obviously see their match performances, how many matches they've played, won, lost, and so on. So that kind of takes us into the match journals, which is a very, very similar concept. But the main thing about the match journals is that we can actually link a match journal to a key opponent. So it's not unusual for a player to have 2, 3, 4, or even 5, maybe more key opponents that they really want to focus on, that these players are in their sights, or on, they're on their list of, hit to, to take them out on the table. So this is a really good way to, build up a database against players that they are commonly used to playing. You can easily create a new key opponent here, or what you can do is you can just type in a name. So let's just put in a name. Let's just say I played John McAfee, for example. And then we're saying he's a lefty, and we're going to say he's an attacker. The score was 3-1 to me. And then it'll take us through to the score. So say 11-5, say 11-6, 11-8, or 11-9. And then we will say 11-5. So that would be that. And then I'm just going to click some metrics, areas I'm happy with. Again, you can put some comments, areas that I'm not happy with. Again, obviously you would spend a little bit of time to make sure that those are correct. I want to share it with that team. And that was that on that date. And then we will go back. So what that means is now if I click into that match journal, you can see this is how it looks. You can see the score, you can see their lefty righty, you can see points won, points lost, total points, and then you can see the areas that you're happy with, the areas that you weren't happy with. So if you play that player again, you can very, very quickly reflect back on what happened. Obviously, you would maybe give a little bit more information here, but the idea behind it is you can keep track of all your matches and refer back to them in the future. They then would link in, if you did link that to a key opponent, you would then start to see head-to-heads for that particular key opponent, how many times you've played, victories, defeats, and then some metrics, what their strengths and weaknesses are. This is quite useful here where the coach can actually give an evaluation of the player as well. So if that player is going to a tournament, the coach could very easily give an evaluation so that if they face this particular player, they can see the coach's opinion as well. You can put in the player's key opponent's strengths, weaknesses, put in a game plan against them. And then here you can see a timeline of when you actually played against that player. It'll be date, and that'll obviously be linked into the training journal that was linked to it as well. So I'll move on then just very quickly to the events calendar. There's not really much to say in here, but generally the idea behind this is that you put in your events as a player, and then all of your coaches associated with your team can see, where you are and where you're going to be. And it's just nice to set out your plan of all the tournaments. Ranking log. This is just really to start seeing some trends. Whenever I log a ranking journal, it will automatically plot this, and then it'll obviously update your statistics, and then obviously your coaches can see that as well. Video analysis, very, very simple little feature where you can upload a video and then this will allow the coaches to comment on it and give you some feedback. You can, if you don't want to share it with your team and you want to just keep it for personal use, you can update the privacy on that video as well. That takes us into records of achievement. So this is quite a useful feature for us as a coach, where you can put in here, let's just say winner of the English Open, and you put in a date. It's just nice if you're a coach and you want to submit some funding applications for some of the players, and you want to very quickly go in. I'm just going to delete that one because that one's obviously just a test. But you can imagine you can see a timeline of all the results and achievements of that player. And the idea behind this is that if you're applying for some funding, you can then very quickly revert to the app and see what that particular player has achieved. If you're a player, this is just great to give you a little bit of confidence to read back in some of your achievements and what you've been working towards. And yeah, so that takes us then into other things like injury records. I'm not going to go into too much about this, but this is just really where you log some injuries, so that if there's a particular injury that's been given you quite a bit of bother, it's really useful for all of the coaches associated with you to know that you have a history of injury. And it's also just good to log dates of when these things happen, and then maybe to see any trends. Maybe if you're working too hard over the summer, maybe you're getting yourself injured September, October time, there may be trends there that you can recognize. Fitness tests, at the minute we've only really got one fitness test to put in, which is sit and reach, but again, you guys can actually add your own fitness test. But this basically allows you then to track progress for strength, for power, for stamina, and various other aspects of your game. You can very easily carry out the sit and reach, for example. You can click in and you can see how to do the sit and reach, the objective, the analysis. You can see some trends of improvement in the sit and reach. And then you can obviously submit a result with a date as well. So that's just very, very useful to have that flexibility. So if you're a club, you can carry out monthly fitness testing. You can add your own fitness tests. And it just gives a much more professional aspect to the player's game. Statistics, we did go into the statistics, so we won't focus too much on those, but you can see there, this is where your fitness tests will appear, and then they'll obviously be split into the particular test itself. So yeah, there's various other things in there, but what I would just wanted to take you into now is show you the TTFit demo team. So any player can have multiple teams. So if I click into this team, you can see here the players associated with that team. Now, I won't be able to access anybody else's profile. It'll show me only team admins can add, edit, or delete. So no player can see anybody else's information. What they will see is they will see generic information associated with that team. So for example, here there could be a clothing policy, it could be a selection policy, there could be any bit of general information to all the players associated with that team could be put in there. Any of the events and fixtures, maybe there's a friendly, maybe there's training camps. So you can see there that this is kind of like a rostering system. So if this was a training camp and you want to register your interest, you can just click add me to the lineup, and that essentially lets the coaches know that you're interested in this particular training camp, and so on. So again, those are just a couple of tests. You can see that if I'm a player, I cannot delete anything, I can't add anything. So yeah, training schedule. So this is obviously on the basis of seeing the player every day. There could be a training schedule set out for strength and conditioning, times, and so on. So that's more associated to the likes of an academy or a full-time training center. And you can see, training squad times and so on. So yeah, there's news, there's team chat. You can obviously comment, share. You can share videos. You can share training plans. You can and it just aims to improve camaraderie in the team, and so on. So yeah, there's news. You can see the team managers and so on. But what I just wanted to now log in as is as a coach. I want to log in as a coach, and I want to show you what the coach can see. I'm going to log in as Nancy. So there, the coach's profile will be the same. Actually, I forgot to go in to show you the drills. So you can see here we've got a load of drills. everybody sees all the drills. So if I click in here, this is a good drill. You can see how to do that drill, a little bit of information. You can obviously then create your own training plan. So let's say, for example, weekend session. I can set a date. I'm just going to leave it as it is. And then you can essentially start creating your own training plans. They then will obviously appear in your training sessions, which is in here, training sessions. You can see the weekend session, and then we can obviously add in some attributes to that particular drill, give it some time, how long you want to do it. You can then obviously share it with your teammates or coaches as well. Let's say I want to share it with George, and yeah, really, really simple and really easy to create training plans, training sessions with a mixture of fitness drills or on court table tennis drills as well. So yeah, back to the coach's profile. So if I log in here, their profile is the same. The only difference is if I click into the team, they have much more access. So you can see here there's some friend or join requests to this team. They have access to edit the team, enable and disable some of the functions. They can see all the team members. They can add and remove team members. And they can add and remove team coaches as well. So the generic team information is still the same as it was. You can see it's still there. The only difference being now is that if you're a coach or an admin, you can obviously add information, you can add files, and you can add and update training schedules and fixtures. So this is really where it becomes really useful. So everything we showed you as a player, you can see in here now as a coach. So if I click into development plans, I can see all my players. I can click into George Davis. This is the profile we were just in. And I can click into the development plan. I can edit the development plan. I can update the development plan. And I can add in training sessions, be it a fitness session, be it a training session to improve your forehand or your flick. So lots of information in there. If I click into this one, you can see there that is the training session associated with that development plan. So I'm not going to go in and show you all of those features, but what I just want to highlight is that the coach will have access to all of that data, if the coach has enabled the privacy setting on that. Now, if I want to click in here to any particular player and see their overall profile, let's click into George. I can see his phone number, his email address, I can send a message from within the app. I can see if he has linked any parents or guardians. I can click into each of his different areas. If I want to see his match journals, I can click in and I can see his match journals. I can comment on them and so on. So everything we went through, you now can see as a coach. But really, yeah, the main aspect of this is to try and drive metrics and statistics on your players to see how they're performing, and it just keeps everything in the same place. So there's obviously a lot more features in there, but look, this was trying to go through quite a lot of functionality in quite a short time. And yeah, it really is for any player, any coach, any club, association, or academy. So definitely try it out. You get 14 days completely free to try the app. From then, it's only $7.99 per year per player. So it's really, really quite affordable. So look, if there's anything you're not sure about or you want to reach out, you can email us at media at ttfit.app, or you can catch us on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and so on. We also do overall club packages for multiple players, multiple coaches, but it's developing all the time, and we do try and keep all of our members up to date. With our change log, we're constantly new features in development, and we're constantly releasing features. So you'll get notifications as soon as we release new features as well. Hope you've enjoyed this video, and we've given you a little bit more of an insight as to how the TTFit app works, and hopefully you will find it beneficial. Thank you.